Shalom.
Shalom, family.
There's a video that I saw that was titled "Unbelievable," and I just kind of wanted to give my input on the things that I see that's going on in society. And the video is basically about how the black woman is wearing the weaves, and then that stuff is I totally agree with the fact that putting blonde hair in your on your head and these weaves from these strange nations and all of this stuff is really some crazy wicked stuff. If you research that stuff and you really dig into it and find out that they cast spells and all kinds of stuff on that hair. I mean, we saw what was it, the documentary by
Good Hair.
Yeah, Good Hair, exactly. And I'm telling you, when you see some of that stuff and you know what's going on, hey, I get it. I totally get that, One thing that I wanted to bring out was this here, though, okay? It's true that the black woman, our Hebrew women, are going into putting on this strange stuff and wearing these crazy clothes and all this stuff, okay? But I want to ask you this question real quick here. Why do you think they do it? Can someone answer that question for me? Why do you think these women are putting the blonde hair in their hair and trying to get this weave on down, long, stringy, straight, permed hair?
I have an answer for you. Well, when you look back in the 60s and 70s and even before then, a lot of our people were wearing their natural hair. We were wearing braids and afros and
right.
all of those natural hairstyles, and we were okay with it. But I like to call it the Rick James culture. During the Rick James culture, there was this insatiable lust for the white woman that our black men would have. Everything about Becky was praised, and desired and sought after.
That's right.
And so black women started to notice that Becky is now the apple of the so-called black man's eye.
That's right.
The hair, the whole look, the skin tone, everything about Becky was desired by the so-called black man.
That's right.
And so the black woman started to lose any type of pride in her natural hair because the black man pretty much said, I don't like it.
I don't want it. I don't like it and I
want what Becky has.
That's
and so this kind of forced the black woman into saying, well, man, what can I do to recapture his heart? What can I do to win my man back? And so she started dressing herself up like Becky. And she started finding sources of buying hair from other women.
That's right.
The weave boom, I don't know when it started exactly, but it's been going full swing ever since. Ever since the black woman lost pride in what she looked like and started wanting to look like what the black man desired, which was other women.
That's right. Now, see, she lost pride because there was the black man. See, now think about this. Now, when you have a man, okay, that's a whoremonger, okay, and this is what he wants. He wants a whore, okay. He says, okay, y'all see you over there, Keisha. I see you over there, but over here, Becky, she got this long stringy hair and she's looking like this and she's speaking to me. She's friendly and everything, and I got money now. You know how it is. The minute you become a star or whatever, you go out and you get yourself a Caucasian woman, you see. So then Keisha, she's sitting back and she's saying to herself, oh man.
Especially when he says, and Becky's going to do things that you won't do.
Yeah. So then now Keisha feels like, and if there's some Keishas out there, I'm sorry. Yes. I was trying to pull a name out my head, and that's the only one
I usually go for Shaquita.
Okay,
but there are some Shaquitas out there too, so we are so sorry. Yeah, we're just trying to give an illustration.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly. So then this poor Hebrew sister, she's like saying to herself, like, man, so in order for him to treat me like that, because then she look at how he treats her. right? And he's holding the door for her, doing all kinds of stuff. So she's like, well, man, okay, let me go get some blonde hair in my head and see if he'll like me. And let me go get some long, straight, stringy hair. And oh man, but I just don't like wearing those loose clothes. I like to stay covered. But she look over there and she see this one young lady.
But Becky's belly button is showing, so
Becky's belly button is showing, and she got on a mini skirt, and then she says, well, you know what, man, maybe I gotta dress like this too. And then what does she do? She puts on that stuff, and then here come the men. The whoremonger men. Okay? Here come the whoremonger men, right? So the whoremonger men, they come and they say, oh, okay, all right. And she said, oh, see, he likes me. No, he's a whoremonger. He don't like you, he just wants you for a moment. That's all. It's just a moment.
Then after that, your weave is going to become unbelievable.
That's right.
Then the thing that made them look at you pretty much as if you were a tramp, okay, that's going to be the thing that they're going to tease you for now, because get this, so-called black woman.
That's right.
We were never meant to look, act, and dress like Becky. You see.
That's right.
Never look at it or consider it as an insult if you have, and we mentioned this before, where some of the men from the islands were saying that black women are like those Old Testament women. You see, don't look at that like an insult, you see, because basically our men have been turned over. Not all of them. A lot of our men have been turned over to where they want this wild, crazy sex. You see, we saw a video where this Jewish man was actually talking about how they were putting spells on our men.
That's right.
To try to make them sexually immoral. You see, we're going to talk about that clip one day. As a matter of fact, we may include it in one of our documentaries. But all of this stuff that we see happening to our people, these people are hexing us and cursing us. This is why the scripture talks about the sorcery that has been put on the whole world.
That's right.
You see? And so the so-called black man, the reason why he looks at a black woman who wants to dress right, be right, act right, live right, as a so-called Old Testament woman, and in the same breath he'll say the European woman, she does things that we like done. This is a man saying that, look, I'm going to be a whoremonger. Like my husband said, this is a whoremonger. He's going to put aside the righteous woman, and he's going to go after this woman. But you, Israelite woman, if you decide that you're going to be like this loose woman and try to dress like her, act like her, look like her, getting weaves in your hair, you're not going to be treated the same as Becky is going to be treated. They're going to get the door for Becky. They're going to put her chair under for her.
That's right.
They're going to do all the things that Becky wants done, but they're going to call you a tramp. They're going to call you a whore, but they won't call Becky a whore.
Now, you know what's amazing about it too? A lot of brothers, they'll be just going off on the black women that have the weaves and the blonde hair and all of this stuff, just going off on them. And what they don't realize is that these women, the reason why they're like that is because a lot of the men are whoremongers. They've done their thing. Now, let me shine some light on you and show you what happened, okay? If we go back in time, right? Let's go back to the 50s and 60s when they had the Miss America, okay? Each time you looked around, Miss America was a white woman, right? White woman. Because, so in other words, this is them saying, this is what we believe beauty is.
This is the standard of beauty
here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all looking at TV and we're like, wow, you see Miss America, she's beautiful. Look at her, that's Miss America. And so we get to the point where with our perception, because now a witching is going on with our minds, this witchcraft. They put it out there that this is what beauty is. This is what the Miss America. Then they came out with Miss Universe. Miss World, I don't know how many different ones that came out. And each time, white woman, right?
And at the same time, I want to throw this in here too. The image of the black woman, whore, poor.
In the movies,
poor,
that's right.
Ghetto.
Poor, ghetto, whore, that's right. That's what they doing. So when they pushing this image out there, this imagery, right? So then you got the black men, right? Let me tell you something. Here's proof. Now, Here you got Step and Fetch It, right? Way back in the days where it was dangerous for a black man to be seen with a white woman. But what does he do? As soon as he becomes famous, he goes and he gets himself a white woman.
That's what he did.
You see? And then you look at some of these other actors down through the years, through the 50s and 60s actors that were old, that back in those days ended up getting what? A white woman.
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier, that's right. These guys, they go and they get these white women, right? And so what's going on is, so then us that's watching TV, these young people that's watching TV back in those days in the 70s, everything popping in their mind. White woman, white woman, white woman, white woman, right? I remember a gentleman, I ain't gonna say who this gentleman is, but he gave me this, actually we were having a talk years ago. I was young, okay? And this person said to me, he said, let me tell you something. You know, he said, each time I look at TV, each time you look around, they putting that white woman in your face. And every love movie, there was a white one. They ain't show no love movies with black women in it, right? Only love movies with white women. So he said, man, so each and every time I started to get a desire, you know. He said, that thing bothered me so, man, so I finally had to get myself one. And he did. You know, he was with one and he ended up, you know, breaking up with her eventually. And then he got himself someone that was literally almost Caucasian, you know.
She's mixed.
Yeah, she's mixed, basically. And then that's how it was with this person, you know. But he told me that it was because he kept seeing it in his face all the time, you know, on television. They do beat scenes, they showing white women, you know, so that thing really bothered him so that he had to get out and get himself one. And so that thing, now through the 70s, what happened? Then slowly you start to see black men go out and get these white women. Each time to get in sports, go get a white woman, get a white woman, get a white woman. So now it got to the point where black men, they looking at the black woman like, you know?
He's basically saying now to justify doing what I'm doing, I'm going to find fault with the black woman.
That's right.
Because he was getting ridiculed for leaving the black woman. So he said, I've got to put, it's almost as if the black man started using the same type of witchcraft.
That's right.
Unknowingly.
That's
where
right.
He's going to put all these narratives out here. Well, the black woman is this. She's loud. She's greedy. She's a gold digger. She's ghetto. She everything. Yep. She wearing weaves. She's doing this. She's tanning herself, or she's should I say bleaching herself. Everything, every fault that you can find, so that you can justify going outside of the Most High's will and marrying strange women.
Now you know what's amazing? They'll say she's loud, and I'll say, really? Well, yeah, she's loud and she's this and she's that and all this. Really? Oh yeah. Well, you don't know where that came from, huh? You don't understand what happened to the black woman to know why she's the way she. That not all of them are like that either. You putting that on all black women, they all aren't like that. But you don't know why some are like that. It's because look at where she's been, right? She'd have been through hell, been raped by master, right? All those years she got raped by master and the
beat by the black man.
Beat by a black man. Get this here, and couldn't do, and the black man couldn't really save her when she was getting raped. Now I reckon some black men probably rose up and fought master when he took his wife. But think about what I'm saying here. She'd been through all of that, right? Then she goes through all of this to finally get to today's time, and what's happening? Her man is getting snatched away by a white woman. Really? And then when she do get a black man, he's beating on her, you know, throwing her down the stairs, kicking her, stomping her, and doing all kinds of abuse to her, right? And then when it comes time to get married to him, now he do all this before he even got married to her. Then it comes time to get married to her, and he said, "Nah, I don't want to marry you." Oh, but you just used up 10, 20 years of her life, right? Dating her and gave her babies and everything, and now it's like, nope, I don't want you. Well, what is she mad as heck? I mean, of course she's angry. Of course she's upset. Of course she's mad. Of course she's wearing weaves. Of course she's wearing blonde hair.
Because she's trying to get your attention.
Yeah, what do you expect? Of course she's going to do all that. Now, none of that stuff she's doing is right. Nobody's saying this right.
No.
All of that stuff is the blonde hair. All that stuff is, you know, dressing like a whore, living bad, and all that is bad.
Yeah, we're not supposed to conform to this world.
That's right.
We're supposed to be transformed by the renewing of our mind.
That's right.
But it's unfortunate that the black woman is conforming to what the black man likes.
That's right. Exactly.
And when we speak, we're not speaking about every black man.
That's right.
We're speaking about those who like to taunt the black woman. You know, it's kind of funny that a lot of the black men who taunt black women for wearing weaves, they're married to so-called white women or Latino women or women of other nations. It's like, to me, it sounds very hypocritical to taunt a person for something that they're doing that they were trying to do for you.
Yeah.
Now, my thing to the black woman about the weaves, I got to bring this part into it. The reason why it's not good for you to wear these weaves is a health reason too. One sister had a weave in her head, and apparently they had taken it off of a dead woman from India, in which I'm sure a lot of these weaves come from people who may not have had the best of hygiene too, you see. But anyway, this woman started having all of these horrible headaches, and come to find out that there were eggs and larvae on the hair follicles from the weave, and they started hatching down in her head under the weave. I'm trying to gross you out here. This actually happened.
Yeah, this actually
I want you to
happened.
be grossed out so you can get that stuff off your head and start wearing your natural hair.
Yeah.
But the bugs that infested her scalp and head started burrowing down into her head,
That's right.
and she was having these horrible headaches as a result of it. And that's when they discovered that she had an infestation in her head from the weave. So that alone should be enough to say, look, I'm not going to be messing around with no weaves.
Yeah.
But the reason we wanted to talk about this is for the hypocrisy that we see in our brothers to pretty much slay someone for wearing a weave when they're doing it to get your attention.
Now let me ask you brothers out there, right? now it's going to get a little warm in here now because I'm about to hit you with one, okay? I want you to think about this, right? Okay. Now, for you brothers out there that's watching right now, okay? How many women, Hebrew women, black women, did you date and mess around with and just walked away from them, right? So you done messed around with them, then laid with these women, and then you just walked away from them, right?
Is that righteous?
Huh? Walked away from them. How many of them, huh? Some of you guys out there have probably been through 10, 20, 15, you know, probably been through 30, 40, even 50 women. I bet some of you have been through 50 women. I know it. I knew guys like this growing up, okay? Guys have been through a whole slew of women, right? Now you go through all of these women, and when it's time to get married, what do? Nope, no, I'm not marrying you.
Black women too easy.
Yeah, they too
Come
easy.
on now.
Well, she wanted a man, of course. Every woman out there literally want a man. Well, of course, you got this crazy stuff going on. I ain't talking about all that crazy stuff, but every good woman out there wants a husband, right?
And you know what's funny? A lot of these same men will get with a white woman who will give it up too very easily, right? Not married to her, but he don't call her easy sleazy.
Yeah.
You see? Come on now with the hypocrisy.
That's right. It's definitely some hypocrisy going on because I know some of you brothers out there, you got to think, you come on now, y'all got to lighten up.
Yes,
y'all got to lighten up. I mean, it's crazy. You study pointing right there, pointing at this person, at her, and her over there, not even realizing what's causing them to go in that direction. And guess what? They're going to keep going in that direction. You know why? Because half of the black men are either locked up in jail, half of them are dead, or some of them are strung out on drugs or whatever, right? Police getting them in the streets, right? Killing them and stuff, right? Huh? This is what's going on. Now you got 7 women to 1 man. Now, literally in the black community, and the 1 man is looking at a Hispanic or a Mexican or a Caucasian. I mean, no wonder she's doing everything she feels she got to do to get a black man's attention. You know? Then, if she goes out here and she gets a white man, then you brothers be like, oh, look at that right there, look at that right there, you know.
The black woman is a traitor. Oh my goodness. It's like you can't win for losing. My daughter was telling me a friend of hers, our oldest daughter was telling us a friend of hers has a brother who has a child with a black woman. Mm-hmm. And this child loves his dad, right? But she said he's still somewhat with the mother, but he's not. Okay, he's just messing around, right? But the child loves he's starting to distance himself from his little Hebrew son. Mm-hmm. Guess why? Why? Because he done found himself a white girl. And the sad thing about the white girl that he's found is she already has 3 or 4 children with other black men. How many times have we heard this narrative before, right? And my daughter says that he plays, and none of those children are his. None of the mixed children are his. He has a black son, in which he's starting to distance himself from, right? But the mixed children that are not even his, they belong to other black men. He treats them like his own children. He treats them like they're so extremely special. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not coming against mixed people. I'm just trying to make a point here, you see? Right. And this white woman, he gets the door for her. He treats her like a queen. And my daughter says that he'll be on the phone. The phone. Okay, before the phone interrupted us. But anyway, my daughter says when she hears this person on the phone with his black girlfriend, he'll talk to her like she's trashed, talk down on her, rude to her, just very rude. But whenever he's in the presence, or when the young white girl is over, or when he's talking to her, total different scenario. He's just treating her with kid gloves and, just real soft and yeah this and yeah that. And I said to myself, wow, it's really truly amazing how far our people have come from loving one another. Mm-hmm. And we've justified this ill treatment in our minds, and we don't understand that we are actually wiping our own selves out, because we have this misconception about establishing seed lines to where you're literally going to, for a black man to think that it's better to start a relationship with a white woman who's already had several white or mixed children with several black men. You think that she's a better candidate than the mother of your child who has your son. You think, so you're going to be the next person to give this woman a child? Don't you understand that you are a sexual tool to her? I'm reminded of Heidi Klum and Seal. Yeah. Okay, when Heidi Klum saw Seal for the first time, and she said this on the talk show, he was in some biker shorts. Okay, we're talking about 2 celebrities here. She saw him walk into a hotel with some biker shorts on. Now, I don't need to explain to anyone what a black man in biker shorts looks like. I don't have to explain that, okay? So when this white woman saw him, these were her words when she was on the talk show. She said, I have to have him. So do you think she looked at his beautiful eyes and said, I have to have him? Do you think she looked at that melanin and said, oh, I have to have him? That's not what she was drawn to, okay? Anyone with any real common sense would know that her eyes shifted downward and that she saw the biker shorts and said, I have to have him. That's right. Just keeping it real, family.
Yeah. Just keeping it real. Mm-hmm. It's really sad, though, that it's trying to get people to see both sides of everything is very hard. Don't you know you have to be balanced? Mm-hmm. You have to be balanced in everything. Everything you look at, everything you do, you need to be balanced. When you make judgments, you got to be balanced in your judgments. Right. Mm-hmm. You just can't be judging and see one part of it and don't see the other. Mm-hmm. That's like a person judging a tree just by what's above ground. Mm-hmm. But there's much underground too. Mm-hmm. Well, let's just judge the tree by the bark and forget about what kind of fruit it got, right? Mm-hmm. Ain't that what they doing, right? Mm-hmm. Or just judging the fruit and forget about everything else that's dealing with the tree. Mm-hmm. You gotta have righteous judgment. That's right. Everything you gotta have balance in the way you look at things, okay? Mm-hmm. Quit looking and pointing the finger, and just understand. You know why? Because when you understand what's really going on, then you can look at somebody like Shaquita, okay, with the blonde hair. You say, "Po, sister,
she done lost her way.
She done lost her way. I see what's going on with her, you know. And maybe one day the Most High can bless her. Let's pray for her. Here, let me give her this, give her that. Maybe this will help her to understand what's going on with us as a people. Maybe she need to understand who she is. Because once she realized that she is Yah's child, a child of Yah,
a lot of that stuff comes off anyway.
Yeah, she'll be like, wow, you mean to tell me I'm a Hebrew? Wow, I'm a true Hebrew, a daughter of Jacob? Maybe she'll come out of all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, but when you're yelling at her and cussing at her and telling her she's a no good black woman and you're unbeweavable, you got all this weave in your hair, that's why don't no black man want you and all this different stuff. No, that ain't why the black man don't want it. The black man done been mesmerized. The black man is under a spell right now, and this is why they go after these other women. It ain't got nothing to do with Laquita, because there are plenty of black women out here that will do and conform to whatever you want them to be. I'm talking about righteousness, okay? I'm not talking about no craziness. But if a man wanted a woman to be a certain way, a lot of women will conform to that. If you want her to cover her hair and wear dresses down to her ankles, some women will conform to that, you see? So don't try to make it seem like black women just don't want to do right and don't want to be right. And any of the rebellion that you see today, it came from somewhere, you see? When you go back in the before the Rick James culture even took hold, most black women were they were saying, look, a piece of black man or a piece of man is better than no man at all. And they were staying in abusive relationships where men were beating them, calling them out their name, all kinds of things. Many of us grew up in families where we witnessed this. So
that's right.
I'm speaking from experience when I say I've seen women in my very own family who were good women, who were doing everything that they were supposed to do, but they were doing it in fear because they had men who were abusing them. And they were staying in this because they wanted to be loved by the black man, you see? And so all of this stuff about black women being rebellious and all of this other stuff, you got to bring it in perspective.
Right.
We're dealing with the same thing that the slave master has thrust on all of us, telling us to get over this, that, and the other. The black man refuses to deal with the fact that they have been abusive, both physically and mentally, that they are the ones going through the black communities, robbing. You see, I'm not saying that there haven't been any black women to rob, but I'm saying for the most part, the people breaking in houses, who is it?
You know what? If you were to do this, let's go into any black community, right? But if you were to take the black men, okay, and say, okay, let's remove the black men out of the black community for a week, and then come back and do a statistics on crime for that week. Okay? I guarantee you, folk would be like, man, it was hardly any crime going on. Man, you have to worry about this, ain't have to worry about that. Man, it was like, so where all the crime coming from in the black community? It's coming from the black man. You get it? Who's selling the drugs?
Well, we better put this disclaimer. We know black women are doing stuff too, but
we know
let's rewind and go back to the 70s, okay? Let's go back to the Rick James culture. I want to do that for a reason, so you can see that this black woman that you see today, the ones that are ratchet, the ones that are ghetto, where did she come from?
Yeah.
She was the making of the society that she was thrust into. You see, no father in the home because the father was dead or in jail or nowhere to be found. You see?
Guess what? Think about the 70s, right? Let's look at the music that came out in the 70s. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
You see?
You know? Now think about that. That was in those days. So in those days, men would study coming out and becoming whoremongers, and they took on that spirit. Now let's go back a little further. Now I want you to see something here. Now, you know what used to just trip me out whenever I would see this image? You know the image where they showed a school that was in the incident that happened in Little Rock, Arkansas, when they were trying to integrate blacks into the white schools. And they showed the image of the black girls that's walking with their books, right? And these Caucasians screaming at them behind them or whatever, right? Did you look at how nice those young black girls looked in those images? Did you ever look at those images? You see how they dress? We talking about teenagers. They look like grown people. I thought they were grown.
Very mature.
Very mature. That's right. Dress covered up all the way down. Now, why did she start coming out of all that? Huh? What caused her to start pulling all that off? Huh?
Because Becky was dressing different, and the black man started having eyes for Becky.
Yeah. So see, we got to look at everything. Here's another point too. Look at Martin Luther King. He was 25 years old when he started this thing, right? When he dealt with Rosa Parks. 25 years old. Now you get Martin Luther King at 25 and compare him to today's 25. It's like a huge difference. Huge difference, you see? But that's how we were at those ages back then. We were like grown men. You see?
Grown women.
Now Martin Luther King didn't look at Rosa Parks and say, hey, Rosa Parks, you know what you got going on later. You know, he was trying to get something done. You see what I'm saying? Now, we know about, Martin Luther King probably had his moments too, But we're just trying to get you to see how things were back then and how things rapidly got crazy once the 60s got through the 60s, right? And then the 70s came, and then before you know it, it just went buck wild since then.
Yeah, things have gone from bad to worse.
That's right.
From bad to worse. And we have to look at this thing in its entirety. That if we want to fix this, our so-called black men have to get their heads on straight, and then the women will get their heads on straight. Because things have to be in order. When there is a fall, you have to get the head in order. If the head is out of order, the whole body is going to be out of order. So what we have right now is the black man trying to put everything on the shoulders of the black woman and say, black woman, get yourself together. Well, she can't get herself together until the head is together.
It's the blaming thing, That's what happened with Adam, That woman you gave me, she the reason why. Most I say, no, you getting punished for what you did. You understand? So that woman. Nope. And see, that's the thing. We've been pointing our finger at the woman since then. We still pointing our finger at her right now. When you the head, you understand?
You know what's funny about that head thing? A lot of brothers love to talk about being the head when it comes to the hierarchy in the home. You see,
about it.
Yahushua was supposed to be the head of man, right? But they want to talk about the head when they want to establish the hierarchy in the home. But when it comes to the fall, oh no, we're not the head. No, it's the black woman. All of a sudden, she's the head of the fall, though. You see, when it comes to the downfall of our people, you want to put her at the head then. But see, the head was out of order. When I say the head was out of order, he wasn't in his place.
Yeah.
You see, the man that fathers the children that the black woman has, where is he?
That's right.
You see, he's gone.
That's right. So basically,
he's out of order.
That's right. He's out of order. He's the head caboose. If you look at a train, he's that front train that pulls everything. It pulls the wife, the kids, and everything else. As long as he stay where he is, pointing his finger, but staying where he is. You're going to continue to see what you see today.
Yeah, if the black man kept his state of leadership, the woman would be right there behind him, right there with him, doing what he's telling her to do or what she's supposed to do. Because a woman wants to follow a strong black man. I didn't say a brutish black man. I said a strong black man.
That's right.
Brutish and strong are two different things. You don't need somebody yelling at you, cussing at you, calling you out your name, beating you and all of this different stuff. That ain't a strong black man. That's a weak black man.
That's right.
I like the answer my husband gave to a brother one time when he said something to the extent of a weak black man.
We had this brother that actually commented, and he said this to me. He said, only a weak man will let his wife sit on the side of me and teach like this or whatever, right? And I said, well, the problem is, it takes a strong man to deal with a strong woman. You hear what I just said? It takes a strong man to deal with a strong woman. You see? So don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Don't get that thing twisted. Because a strong man has to be strong in order to deal with a strong woman. Most men can't deal with a strong woman. That's why they, oh man, you know what? You know, she too, I'm out of here, man. I can't deal with it. Yeah, that's a weak man. See, he can't, that's why he out the door. Because he can't deal with it. You know, she said a few things to him, like, can you, you didn't do this, you forgot to take the garbage out, whatever. You know what? She fussing at me too much, I'm out of here. You know, a weak man. You know, that's a weak man.
Exactly.
But anyway, you know, I hope, you know, those of you out there, I hope you get where we're coming from with this. You know, I know we got some Caucasians that's watching this. Hey, it is what it is.
Yes.
I learned over the years to accept the truth no matter what. If it's truth, just accept it, deal with it. You know, ain't no big deal.
Yes, we have to teach our people, and those of you who come on the side and you see that we're teaching, if you get offended by it, we can't help that, but we have to instruct our people in righteousness. This is what we're called to do.
Yep.
And so sometimes the word is going to cut. You see,
yep.
And also this is a message we want you all to understand that we are not endorsing weave at all.
Nope.
So when we're saying that the brothers who are taunting sisters about their weave, we are in agreement with them that we shouldn't be wearing weaves because of the spiritual connection to that hair and the fact that we should just embrace who we are. But we're also saying that weave should not be one of those things that our brothers use against our sisters as a taunting mechanism. Teach them. You see, everything that we do, we should do decently and in order. There's a way to win souls. The scripture says that he that winneth souls is wise. And you're not going to win someone if you're constantly ridiculing them for the weaves, but you're not going back to the reason why they're wearing them in the first place.
That's right. Well, on that note, you know, we're going to say shalom.